With Rob Lewis, Brent Hubbs, VolQuest.com. A little four corners as we recap Tennessee's impressive 79-38 win over Appalachian State. Rob, maybe this is not the greatest Appalachian State team, but when you hold somebody to 38 points in college basketball these days, you're doing something right on the defensive end, aren't you?
Yeah, you're doing a lot right. 28% shooting. And at halftime, App State had 10 turnovers and 4 made baskets. I mean, that's pretty strong. And, you expected Tennessee to dominate this game, but, they took them behind the woodshed. I think, the Vegas line was under 20. I think it was 19 and a half. They come out here, they win by 40. Perfect night. Played a lot of people. Every single scholarship guy got in the game. Saw, looks like what I think is going to be the minutes that you're going to see on the perimeter, like all 4 of those wings. And I count Santiago there too, played 20 plus minutes a game, or 20 plus minutes tonight. Rick tinkered with a lot of different lineups, played, different combinations of guys together. And I think we're going to see a lot of box scores like this when we saw tonight offensively. You had 4 guys that were, in double digits, but nobody with more than 13 points. And I think that's a reflection of the depth and the unselfishness of this squad.
Yeah, certainly that's jumping. The unselfishness jumps out to me, not just offensively, though. It's the unselfishness on defense. We saw Jaden Springer flipping over the scores table midway through the second half in a game that was a rout. Keon Johnson's taking charges. Their team defense for 3 games has been phenomenally consistent to start the season. And I know we've talked about it some, and the young players are good defenders, but why do you think this team has bought in so much on the defensive end of the floor to start? I know it's preached by Rick Barnes, but their buy-in is at a different level right now than any of Barnes's previous teams at Tennessee, in my opinion.
I agree. I think part of it's sheer athleticism, but they also have, they got the mindset. You've got some newcomers, but you've got a really nice mix of veterans. Eves is a guy who's made his reputation on defense. Fulke sells out, 100 miles an hour on both ends of the floor. I think they set a great example. And I think your 2 kids who got thrown into the fire last year, Josiah and Vescovi, they get it. They understand how you have to play on that end, how some nights you can win a game when your shots aren't falling, just if you do bring it on that end. And Jaden and Keon, they're just different. They're just different as freshmen. They're just wired differently. They're high-level competitors, and I think because of that competitiveness, defense is something that they take seriously.
And I like what Anasiki did tonight, with 6 points, 6 rebounds. To me, that's kind of the perfect box score for him. He needs more rebounds than he has points, or at least as many. And I think he's starting to find his role a little bit and getting a better feel. I thought he pressed really, really bad in that first game to open the year. Seems like he's kind of settling in with this group. To me, it seems that way anyway.
I would strongly suspect that he got some that there were some teachable moments in that last game when they watched film. Would strongly suspect that was the case. And I'd say elbow jumpers were discouraged. Turnarounds on the baseline were discouraged. I think he's a guy who needs to shoot it when he's right at the bucket, when he's down on the block, when he's wide open, or an offensive putback. When you look at the guys that he is playing with. He doesn't need to hit 8 shots in a game.
Yeah, Tennessee obviously was superior athletically. They were superior to Appalachian State in all phases as they win 79-38. The Volunteers with 13 steals, 5 blocks, just 6 turnovers. If there is any kind of negative takeaway, because Rick Barnes will come into the post game here, he'll be talking about something negative, I'm sure. What's something that's going to bother him tonight from this game?
I don't think he's going to be bothered about 3-point shooting, but that's something that's starting to bother me a little bit. Okay. I think that's a weak link. He won't mention that because he doesn't care as long as they're good shots. And I don't think Tennessee took bad shots from outside tonight. But through 3 games here, that's something that is looking like a little bit of a weak link. It's not going to matter if you hold teams to 28% shooting, but it's going to matter eventually. I would say Rick will. He'll think they were a little sloppy. Even though, what would they have? 10 turnovers, which isn't bad.
6.
Oh, 6. I'm sorry. I thought I looked at that wrong. I don't know. I thought they were good rebounding. I don't know what he's going to complain about tonight. Maybe they give up a few too many offensive rebounds, and he'll probably climb on the subs that came in late and let App State shoot a whopping 38% the second half.
Yeah, let App State nearly get to the 40-point barrier as Tennessee wins big tonight. Big week for Tennessee. plenty more to accomplish, a couple more games before they get into conference play. How close you think you mentioned you think you see the lineup? What's this player, what's the number going to look like in terms of how deep you think he really wants to go?
Oh, I think it's 8. I mean,
Okay.
I think Olivier is working hard in practice and really doing what they're asking him. So he's rewarded him by giving him some minutes here and there. But I think in crunch time and in SEC play, I'll be surprised if it goes more than 8, unless there's foul trouble.
Tennessee wins big over Appalachian State. Full coverage at volquest.com. That's going to do it for this edition of Four Corners with Rob Lewis. I'm Brent Hubbs.